the same surface.
The only thing that's not official is us. Anyway, hi.
Hey guys, what's up?
Yes, that's Dave.
That's Robbi.
And we go. No, you do.
I have to start then. That's Robbi.
That's Dave.
And this is Not a Burger TV, where we talk about
nothing.
Yeah, it's a nothing burger. It's a big juicy beefy.
No, was that we're the beefy boys in the middle or something like that? What the hell is that you say?
We're the beefy buns, and the juicy tender. We're tender on the inside. We're soft, and today's National Health Day, right? National Mental Health Day.
Yeah, National Mental Health Day.
Yeah, me too. And we're feeling a little introspective today. You know, we've had some deep conversation lately. We have a lot of feelings on the issue, right?
I don't have feelings. I have a big old black empty spot where my heart should be, according to all my exes.
Yeah. No. So me, right? My life has been one long, prolonged catastrophe, leading from one catastrophe to the next. My house burned down in 9th grade. I had to move away. Lost all my friends. It was awful. But the thing that has pushed us here today is that we found this video.
You found the video.
I found this video, and it resonated with me.
I can't take any credit for it. You definitely found the video, and you shared it with me, and now it's just like a whole bunch of people are like, oh my god.
Yeah. So I guess it's like low level viral. It's not a big channel or whatever. I forget the name. Just YouTube search toolbox fallacy, and I'm one of those guys who is like, I have all these ideas, and I always convince myself I'm gonna do it. But I need to get X so I can do Y. And that's what the video is about, is like, you're just lying to yourself, man. It's like, you could do the thing. You should be doing the thing already if you really want to do the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, to just like a quick synopsis about the video is that he talks about how he would tell himself that he is a filmmaker. Mm-hmm. And during this time, he would tell people, "Oh, you know, yeah, we're just I'm just working this job
just
until she graduates, until we have enough money, until I do this, until I get that." And it's just like he kept putting it off and off, and it was something like 6 years. He said that then he realized he is no longer a filmmaker.
Yeah.
He was a filmmaker. So then he just what up, Red Lion Head?
Yo, welcome.
So then he went on and said, like, you know, instead of making the excuses, he finally went off and did the thing, cheap editing suite, and just did his thing. Yeah.
I think one of the reasons these videos are so eye-opening is because it's so easy to kind of like lie to yourself and just kind of go on with life and not really examine yourself closely. But I am that guy who's like 2 years ago when I graduated Orlando Tech for 3D design, I bought a Wacom tablet, and I was like, I have all the tools in place, I have all the skills, now I can start game development. Did I ever do anything with it? No, not at all ever. And even this year, I bought a camera kind of for this project. At least we're sitting here, at least we have some progress. But I bought a camera. It sat in the box for like 3 or 4 months. We just opened it today. I was like, this video is literally made for me. It's aimed at me. I keep telling myself, I would go to the gym today, but like I can't really listen to my music because the headphone jack on my phone doesn't work that good. So I'm gonna buy an MP3 player. When I have the MP3 player, then I can
you'll go to the gym.
Ebooks, and then when I can listen to ebooks, I'll really go to the gym for real. And so this is an eye-opening experience.
Yeah. So stop lying to yourself. But before we continue on with the topic, no, Red Lion Head. I was actually going to watch your stream today, but then a whole bunch of stuff happened at work that I couldn't get. I had your stream open, and then stuff happened, and I had to close your stream so I could go into my boss's office to work on it. But for me, it's like it. So, you know, like I said, today is, I'm not sure if it is the same way worldwide or just American thing, but it's National Mental Health Awareness Day. And for me, when you sent that to me, that was just like, holy shit. It came at a time like I really needed it because, you know, I guess you don't know.
No, I don't know.
Lately, it's just been, for me, it's just very, I wouldn't say self-defeating, but it's just like, you know, I've been like just really down and out just because it's like self-worth, and it's like I
totally don't associate with you with any of those things.
Of course not. And but that's the thing. It's just like there's a whole bunch of people that don't share these feelings. They don't share these thoughts. They don't share. And Red Lion had actually tweeted something to me because I posted something on Twitter and Facebook about it. You know, this whole mentality of man up. You know, it's just you can't. You know, being a male, you shouldn't be sharing these things and stuff. But it's just like for me, I have like a whole bunch of other stuff going on. Yeah. Previously, that's just like I encapsulate this until I get to a certain point and then just like pretty much snap. But it's just, you know, you shouldn't be like that. But for me recently, it's just been very self-defeating and just, you know, reevaluating my self-worth.
Is it in your fighting? Is it in your music?
It's just in a whole bunch of aspects of life. It's just like, why am I doing this? For me, it's been, why am I doing this? I'm not going to get any better. I'm not going to go anywhere with it. I should just give up.
Yeah. I definitely, man, you should read this again. Something that we should all read and watch. We should all watch the video. We should all get in on the conversation. This book I'm reading for class, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. He talks about giving up, and it's like a lot of people, like this professor in this book has this kind of like passion. It's something that he chases, and he never finds the answer there, and he gives up. Okay. And then he's like, people kind of submit to I don't want to say a boring life because that's too simple, but just a mundane life. It's like, you know, there's less friction in your life because you just kind of submit to not having dreams anymore. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, it'll hurt less that way, but you're not really like engaged. You know, you're not really participating in the world. You're just kind of floating through it. And that's kind of where I've been for a couple of years too. Is just kind of like skating along. Year after year.
Yeah, and the thing is, like we talked about it pretty much before. And that video, one of the parts in the video he talks about, he said that he was working at his job and it just snapped to him. That's just pretty much to the point where that's when he had the realization of, you know, I'm not a I'm not a video maker. I was a video maker, and he pretty much had that moment where I feel like I interpreted it as there's more to his life than just sitting taking phone calls.
Because he's become that guy.
Exactly.
A telemarketer. And whatever he was. Phone service.
And that's just how I've been looking at things recently. It's just like there's more. I feel like there's more to me than just sitting here doing this work. And for me, I just want to, you know, I want to progress with the music, and that's always been something that's with me. Yeah. You know, music has been, you know, a big part of my life that I want to do something with it. So
that's why I reached out to you in the first place, because I felt like, you know, not having something creative to do is kind of like not expressing, not giving birth to anything, not leaving a mark on the world. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's kind of like, that's where I wanted to be.
Yeah. And no, Fletch. No, just no.
Oh, speaking of, I got tested for cancer and I don't have it, so we're good. No toe cancer.
Wait, what? Oh, that's right.
Toe cancer.
Yeah. No, you're not saying anything about toe cancer.
I had my toe and my back checked out, and it's fine.
I know. Remember your back? You said mole.
Like everybody gets moles, but like especially in Florida, that's the first thing they ask you. They're like, "So you grew up in Florida, huh?" I'm like, "Yeah, but I never see the sun, so don't worry."
Yeah.
Dermatologist or whatever.
Yeah, look, you never said anything about toe cancer.
I got like a weird black stripe down one of my toenails, and it's like one of those WebMD things where it's like, either
there you go. That's your problem.
Flip a coin. It's either absolutely nothing or you're dying.
Yeah, exactly. I
mean? And I guess toenail melanoma is like one of the most aggressive cancers because people don't notice it. So by the time you see it at all, it's like, oh, you're fucked.
Well, shit, man. You did not say anything about that. Holy crap. But yeah. Anyway.
But yeah. I mean, anyways, history of cancer in my family, but not my immediate.
Yeah. So. But to the topic is just, you know, that video just hit hard. It just like hit at a point where I was like, shit, man, this is right. And for me, it's not that, you know, I don't have the equipment. I don't have that stuff. For me, it's, you know, the time, I guess, but I keep finding excuses to, you know, I do have time, but I was like, oh, you know, I'm so tired. I'm this, I'm that. But, you know, also there's a thing of, you know, you're working, Fletch is, you know, doing Fletch things. Sure. But it's just like there's stuff where I can't. It's not, I could do stuff on my own, which is I have been trying to do stuff on my own, but it gets to a point where holy shit, it's boring just to do do music by myself.
Sure. It's very solitary.
Yeah, so it's like I enjoy more having people to play with, people to jam with, and stuff like that, rather than me play by myself.
It's really hard to rewrite your own like mental, you know what I mean? To look at the way you think and be like, this part needs to change now. How do I do it? Like, how do I rewrite the wiring of my brain?
But it's just like so I have all the equipment. I have stuff. It's just I need to get the time to do all that, and I need to not make excuses.
That's me too.
Not make excuses for not make excuses for the time. It's like, but I'm tired.
It's so funny because I work and go to school, both close to full time, not as much as what some people would consider full time. But I'll tell myself like, I don't have time to do this. Maybe I could do it one day a week. But then a new game will come out, and Steam will track your hours. And 1 week after the game has come out, I have like 35 hours in it, and it's like,
well, that's
I found 35 hours. I didn't know I found 35 hours, but apparently I did find 35.
Yeah, but that's it. To you, you think, oh man, I don't have any time. But the time that you do have, you're spent playing video games.
Yeah, I totally. I'm the worst. Like, so I definitely have the symptoms, like the classical symptoms of video game addict. Like I'll be doing something, and my wife will be like, "Oh, come help me cook" or something, and I'll get that like that anger response that a true addict gets when they're removed from their toy, whatever it is. Like, leave me alone. And then I'm like, oh my god, I'm a fucking monster.
Yeah. And that is exactly true. Flesh, he does sacrifice sleep for sleep to game. Yeah, that's absolutely true.
That's the definition of like addiction. Some addictions are easy. Drug addiction is easy to identify. Yeah. But there's things that aren't normally addictive that become addictive, like porn or video games.
Right.
And the symptom that they're an addiction is that they're hurting other parts of your life. And definitely the lack of sleep, you name it, time with your wife, not finding the time when you should have, or she always wants me to like go to sleep when I get home because she's going to sleep. And I'm like, no, I'm going to be up for like 3 or 4 more hours. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, and Red Lionhead, you just brought up something interesting. Because Red Lionhead is a Rocksmith streamer. That's how I met him. Sure. That he's saying that he was about to sell all his music gear before he found Rocksmith in that community.
Yeah, it's so sad how many musicians just like I know so many who are like, I don't own drums anymore.
Because I'm guessing you can correct me if I'm wrong, Red Lionhead, but he had been playing bass beforehand, and then he found out of Rocksmith and the Rocksmith community on Twitch and started streaming. So he's continued on with that, and honestly, I've kind of gotten tired of Rocksmith and the Rocksmith. I don't know if this is gonna offend people.
Itself or the community?
The game, because I felt like I was only getting to a certain point. I needed to do stuff outside of it.
Yeah.
Because it's like I learned the movements. I learned different little techniques from Rocksmith. I'm not saying that Rocksmith is not an amazing tool. It is an amazing tool to learn the basics of guitar or bass guitar.
I see what you're saying though. It's like if you're trying to learn a language, I'm learning the language, but I'm not speaking the language to anybody.
But that's it. And it's just like I could sight read, and I could copy the song sight reading it. Can I play a song? No, I can't play a song because I was reliant too heavy on sight reading from the chart from the game.
Sure.
And then the community on Rocksmith is a very interesting one.
I don't know anything about that.
It's not elitist. Yeah.
No, that's how the music industry is. It's elitist. So
it's not elitist, but it's very interesting. I feel like some of the Rocksmith streamers that I met, Red Lionhead, Ospug, Rocktism, let me see. There's a few others that there's some great people, but there's some people that are just like, I don't want anything to do with these people anymore. I don't care who I offend at this point about it, because I've stopped doing the Rocksmith streaming because it was very off-putting. I would say it was off-putting, but streaming Rocksmith had actually made me hate playing bass guitar.
Oh yeah, that's the worst.
It really, and that's the thing. And honestly, Red Lionhead, I was at a point, which is pretty much around the time that I stopped streaming, that I was really about to sell my bass and my electric guitar. I was about to be like, I'm done with these, never touching it ever again. But I was to me, I was just like, no, I don't want to do just Rocksmith. I want to be, engrossed in music, just fully going. And I've had a better time now doing these things. I play, I get frustrated. And then just lately I've been like, just recently, like the past week or so, I've been like, why am I doing this? Why am I playing this? I'm not gonna get any better. I suck. I can't go anywhere. But now I'm just like, you know what? I enjoy it. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. Work through this slump.
At the end of the day, I was thinking of it when I was getting my haircut. I was talking to the lady about music I'm into and how I used to play, and her boyfriend plays or whatever. She was like a gothed out chick, so obviously we can talk right off the bat, just me having a mohawk or whatever. And she was like, yeah, my boyfriend plays in 3 or 4 different bands. It's hard to find time. It's hard to get anywhere. And I'm like, at some point you have to do it because you love it. You have to do it because you want to see what you can make. You make it and you're like, this is my baby,
Mm-hmm.
Whew, it's rough. I miss being in music. I kind of stumbled across music on accident. I always sang when I was a kid, and I always kind of like took pride in, I always find people that do impressions are also good singers because they just have that like control. Yeah. So I always like did impressions for comedy for my friends as a kid, and I just like things that I just hear and immediately can do other people couldn't do. So I was like, oh, I guess I'm pretty good at this. And I never thought I'd like be super famous or anything, but once I started doing it and like playing, I think playing live shows for most musicians is like the goal. Like, yeah,
it's great playing in front of a crowd. Even
it's such a high. Like,
even they're not there to see you, it's still good to play in front of a crowd.
Sure. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking a lot about getting back into playing. I mean, we've talked about it obviously, but Fletch, if you have time, dude, Fletch, I'm serious. I'm ready to like write a business plan, fit in whoever I can fit in to fill all the spaces in the band. And if there's spaces left empty, I'm gonna go to Craigslist and I'm gonna find somebody to fill in those spaces.
So I said like this whole thing has just been like so for me. It's just been so tough. It's so tough just trying to find the motivation to do stuff because again I'm just like
motivation is my number one failing.
I was like I hate how I hate that I can't play this song. I hate that I can't do this. I'm just like, I'm just going to leave my guitar aside. But I know that I need to just keep working. And and I've been getting better, but it's just, Jesus Christ, something happened. Kate's in the other room doing something.
Speaking of, I'm sorry for pounding on the table so much last week, guys. I didn't realize how deafening it was in the microphone.
Yeah. But I actually recorded a song with one of my coworkers. He and I, he invited me over and he was like, oh, let's just jam out. And we ended up recording an entire, just one track. Cool. I did the
everything?
I did the rhythm guitars. I did the bass, and then he did the lead guitar. Then he did the drum with an electronic drum. And seeing that, we spent.
It felt good. Didn't
I want to say we spent about 4 to 6 hours just working on that for I think it came out to like about a 5-minute track.
Yeah.
But still, he sent it to me the next morning after he EQ'd it and everything. I was like, holy shit.
I bet you felt good all day that day, huh?
I listened to it. I listened to yeah, exactly. No, I listened to it. And I was like, man, that sounds amazing, and it feels good. And that's just it. I want to, keep doing that, but then I get to that point. I was like, I get this motivation. I'm like, okay, I gotta see if Dave, see if Fletch, whoever else can come over, we could do it. And then I get to the point where I'm about to text you guys, and I'm just like, what's the point?
Okay, I will come over every Sunday. Sunday is a good day for me. We'll talk about that later, man. Maybe not necessarily on stream. But let me ask you a question, and this is a question that I always find very productive when I ask other people, but maybe I don't ask myself as much as I should. What does your perfect musical career look like to you? Is it playing the bass on tour? Is it?
I mean, so the end, me face down dead in a ditch.
That's but
no.
Take Jared Leto and make him dead from a drug overdose.
No.
That's why I want to.
No, honestly, for me, it's not about fame. It's not all about money. It's not about this stuff. I want to be able to be in some sort of a music atmosphere, and that's one of the things that's just like very defeating on my I wouldn't say on my psyche, on my mental health, but kind of is, because I'm not there, and honestly, in this past couple months, I've been trying to think of how can I go from where I'm stuck at in this IT world to something in the music world.
Sure.
But to answer your question, my thing is just I would love to play shows, tour. Not that hard. If possible, play shows, touring, or just just recording music and putting on YouTube.
I'm cool with that too. I mean, what I've been thinking about lately is like this thing that we've kind of tossed the idea around of is if you play, cover songs, anime cover songs at conventions.
That's the idea that you've been tossing around.
I don't know if anyone's on board. If no one's on board, then that's fine. But the reason I've been thinking of it is because like you only have to play conventions. You don't have to be on the road all year long. Yeah. There's only a couple a year in each whatever given area. YouTube is a fish in a barrel because there's already an audience there. You know what I mean? Yeah. I want to write music too. I like writing music, but it's just an easy way to like get your foot in the door, so to speak.
Yeah, Red Lionhead, that's double whammy for you. You're stuck in that crushing career, and you're a ginger man. That's a double whammy.
Oh man, Red Lionhead, you got to watch this video, dude. This guy is.
He did.
Okay. He says soul crushing. That's what it makes you think of.
I think Red Lionhead watched the video because I posted it on my Twitter, and then I saw he liked it. I think he liked it, unless that's. I know Oastbug liked it, but yeah, for me, I just want to be in the music. Like I don't care. I don't care. Like
I was really asking what instrument also.
Oh, what instrument
is based like your love, or are you?
Well, that so I have a guitar instructor that comes by on the weekends, and he and I were talking about it because I want to work on a cover of a boy band song. And
that's something you've worked on before, like on the keys, right? On the guitar?
No, on drums I have.
On drums, okay.
On drums I've done some stuff, but nothing on anything else. But he's looked around. He comes over to my house and he's looked around my music room and he's like, "Well, you have all the instruments here. What instrument would you play?" I was like, "Honestly, I would probably want to do all of them. Yeah. Record them all myself."
People do that. There's people that have plenty of.
But also I can't sing. But for me, it's like I don't care. Like I can play the bass, I can play the drums, I can play the guitar, but I would want to do it with other people.
Yeah. You know what's funny is I see a lot of people make a lot of success on YouTube and they don't have the ability. They just edit it. It's just like one girl in front of a microphone, no technical ability. She has somebody edit it. She has somebody auto-tune it. It sounds amazing. Yeah. 1 million views and she didn't do anything. And, that's why when I see...
I mean, you have to have some sort of vocal availability to be able to still be auto-tuned.
Depends on the genre.
I mean, if I were to sing, I cannot sing, and you auto-tune, there's no auto-tune that can make that sound good.
The song that she's singing, it has multiple levels. Yeah. There's like a high harmony and a low harmony. So when you have all three parts and they're auto-tuned, and it's also kind of like an electronic sound, like a little bit robotic, you can't really hear any, it all blends together anyways. So it's just an easy like gimme. But yeah, I see people that do just like, have you seen Smooth McGroove? He does like vocal covers of Zelda songs, and it's 9 boxes and he's singing every part.
Oh yeah, yes, I have. Yep.
It's like, there's all kinds of different people doing just YouTube songs or covers and that's why when I ask you like what your perfect music job looks like, is like, at the level you're at with so many different instruments, I feel like you could just do any one and be like, I'm going to do this one.
Yeah. But I originally in my head, in my mind, many moons ago, I picked up the drums because I was like, I want to be a drummer. Mm-hmm. I love playing the drums.
I love the drums too. That's the instrument I'm drawn to the most.
I love playing the drums, and I like, being loud. But then after playing the drums, and I still enjoy playing the drums. Don't get me wrong. It's still a fun instrument. I love, it's the heart.
It's the skeleton of the song.
Exactly. Without the drums sound off. Shit just sounds weird. Well, while playing, I was like, I like this, but I kind of want to play guitar. And then I picked up a guitar, and I realized I can't play guitar.
Guitar's hard. I tried to learn guitar once with Andrew, and he just like gave up out of frustration. I was like,
I was like, I don't know how to do any of these things. And then I started watching. But before I started watching Red Lionhead, I had actually creeped on his stream a few times, and I was like, who the hell is
Andrew's not a good teacher. Yeah, that's true.
I was like, who the hell is this pirate ginger that's playing bass guitar? And I had my bass guitar sitting around for a while, and I started watching other basses. I was like,
well, I can't wait till we get a 2 cam so everybody can see how big Robbi's right bicep is.
No, please. but I was like, man, I could watch, I could watch these people, or I could do something about it and actually play the bass that I have. And then I started playing it, and I was like, man, this is a lot easier. And then I bought, that was a 4-string, that was a 4-string bass. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you motivated. Like I said, I had been creeping on your stream for a little while. So I started with a 4-string bass, and then Rocktism encouraged me to get a 5-string bass. And then at that point, I was like,
"That's too many strings. I can't."
Exactly. Yeah. Well, at first, I was like, "Man, I can't play 5 strings. My mind's already fucked when it comes to 4 strings." Right. So then I bought the 5-string because I was like, fuck it. I have to go all in. So I bought it.
I can see that. That's how I learned how to drive stick shift. I'm like, I'm buying myself a stick shift car, and if I don't learn how to drive it, I'm not going to get to work.
Yeah. So now I started playing the 5-string bass tuned differently, so I would ignore one of the strings. And I was like, no, I need to play the 5-string bass the way a 5-string bass is meant to be played. And I was like, well, shit. It's 5 strings. All I gotta do is just add one more, and I'm at a guitar. So why not? So then it's actually made it a little bit easier. And yes, the encouragement that I've had from Osebug, Rocktism, Red Lionhead, Noonie DeLooney, a whole bunch of people that they all came on my stream. They all gave me recommendations. They all gave me advice on how to hold the bass, how to play different things.
There's a lot that you don't realize until you try to do it.
And all these people gave me the encouragement to continue on. And now, in where I want to play, I would want to play guitar, but I feel like I want to play rhythm, not a lead. Maybe a solo here and there. Sure. But I love that. Goes back to me playing drums, where the drums, keeps the rhythm, keeps the beat, keeps and that's what I like to do. I like to keep that rhythm, keep that beat. So I would want to do something like a rhythm guitar.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's meet up on Sundays. If Andrew can't find time, then we'll find somebody else. We already know enough people, like you said. I've actually come very close to inviting 2 different drummers to your house, but I'm like, first of all, I don't know if he's comfortable with strangers knowing he has expensive equipment in his house.
Yeah.
Second of all, they're going to bang the hell out of it, especially since they're both metal drummers. So I've seen like their old sticks, they're like shredded to pieces. Yeah. So I'm kind of like, I don't know about that, but. That's going to be the hardest part, I think, is the drummer. It's always the drummer. It's always, this. It's always the drummer.
Finding a drummer is hard, but, I mean...
Or keeping one, too. I don't know what it is. They're just like an unreliable breed. First of all, they have to replace a lot of things. Heads, sticks. So they have to have disposable income, which is not very common among musicians to begin with.
Right.
Yeah, they already bought the drums or do drugs or all the above or have fucked up girlfriends that, control their life and ruin it. And they never have money, right? So
it sounds like you have some sort of a personal history with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. Well, you never met the drummers that we had before while we were kind of writing the songs, and we actually were...
I met Corey and Mike, but...
Yeah, well, before Mike, we actually met as I think it was like a Craigslist audition. We were doing auditions for drummers, and we had another drummer before that who had played maybe like 5 shows with us and did our first EP, and he just kind of like pieced out. He just kind of like lost interest and was like, it's not really my thing, guys. And we were like, have a nice life.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just always hard. It's hard to, it's, first of all, it's a business. It's 5 people making something together. There's scheduling, there's product, there's, all these responsibilities that you have to, being sober for a show, it's hard enough to get 5 people together to like play dodgeball on the weekends. You know what I mean? And then add in like responsibilities.
Yeah. I mean, also it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard being an adult having these responsibilities and then, having to do those kind of things.
Well, it always strikes me as so funny when you tell me that you're having motivation issues, because I always look to you as a motivation example. Because you said something about like, oh, this guy is so old and he's doing this and this and that, so we have no excuse. And I'm like, yeah, Robbie, we don't have an excuse. Look at this other guy. He's 52 and he's singing in a metal band. We don't have an excuse.
Well, that's a thing, and again, kind of goes back to the whole exactly man up mental health
so,
kind of thing. I don't know if I need to go to a therapist and they could tell me better. But
I'm gonna go off on possibly a long tangent here.
Let Dave talk.
So my mom is a psychologist. So that's was a psychologist. So that's the house I grew up in. I always heard about the abused kids that she was dealing with. I always heard that everybody should be in therapy. Everybody should work on their issues. Most people just don't have someone to talk to like that. And their significant other, there's too many boundaries and kind of social taboos that they don't necessarily want to show the person that has the most control over their life that they have problems and that, that might hurt the other person. And my mom's dad and brother, everyone in my family except for my immediate parents was that man up, was we don't air our dirty laundry. We just suck it up and take it. When my mom passed, we did a GoFundMe because it happened completely out of the blue. My dad had already passed, so we didn't know what we were going to do for paying for funeral expenses and all this other stuff. So I'm quote unquote a millennial. I don't know, maybe the very tip of the iceberg of the age group that can call themselves a millennial. So it was not anything to me to be I'm going to put up an electronic thing. That's just what people do. It's not a big deal. It's not a stigma to me. Right. But my uncle had a violent reaction. He's I can't believe you've done this. You've shamed our family. And I was just that was my reaction. It took me a long time to see where he was coming from, because to him it was we were admitting as a family that we couldn't handle our shit. And eventually, so eventually to kind of reconcile with him, I was you know what, we're closing this fundraiser. We're donating all the money to Alex's Lemonade Stand. It must have been my dad, because Alex's Lemonade Stand is a cancer charity. Yeah. And so it was a big problem. And that's that generation is just man up, toughen up. And it doesn't really help at all. I've seen so many people go down the path of drug addiction, suicide. One kid, when I was in junior high, one of the kids in our group killed himself. After we left, another one had a drug overdose. It's just nuts. It's insane how, especially in Florida, small towns, the opioid epidemic is bad. And for people to just kind of get rid of all that baggage, just to be free to follow life, is just so important.
But for me, it's just, I can tell people, do this. Here's the encouragement. Here's all this. But then for me, it's just I just bottle it up.
That's so funny because
that's the side that people don't see. Again.
Yeah.
I could be the motivational person. I can motivate you. But for me, it's just I guess I don't really have a whole lot to really motivate me. I don't know. I can't really say that because I do have some things that motivate me. However, for me, it's just very defeating, and it's just I'm my own worst enemy at 99.9% of the time.
Me too, absolutely.
And that's just it. And like I say, when you post that.
Yeah, I was about to say what Red Line had said. We can all give advice, but never take it.
Oh yeah.
The same way I told you that you should ask yourself what your perfect job looks like in music. I had a friend contact me recently that I haven't talked to in maybe 5 years, and then another 5 years before that was last time we talked. And she was I just always considered you a wise person, and I was
boy, you were wrong.
I've made so many stupid mistakes. I sometimes I just cringe about stuff that I've said or done in the past. I can't believe I did that, and then I have to tell myself it was so long ago. Nobody remembers it but you. Just move on with your life.
Exactly.
But it's like you said, it's so easy to give someone else the right, what
absolutely.
they need to hear, and then just have no idea.
That whole do as I say, not as I do.
Exactly.
that kind of thing. But the thing is I don't have right now a reason to but besides me wanting to be better at an instrument, me wanting to do something with music, that's the only motivation I have. But at the time, it's just very defeating because there's just a whole lot that goes into it, and I'm just why am I doing this? I'm I hate to say it, but it's like I'm garbage. I'm not going to go anywhere to it.
I can't lie. Working in the music industry killed my love for the music industry in a lot of ways. It was like it just crushed. Yeah. I went in as a realist and as a pessimist. Like, don't think you're going to be famous. Have realistic expectations. And then when I came out of it, I was like, this is all a garbage popularity contest, and I hate everyone. Yeah. And like, I feel like YouTube has set people free in a lot of ways where you don't, like you said, you can just put out a YouTube video every once in a while. You don't have to be, under the spotlight, under the scrutiny, and you can edit the fuck out of a YouTube video. Everyone will think you're the best bass player in the world after you're.
Even looking at music, looking at music. Yeah, we'll touch up on what Fletch just said, but looking at music,
we're really opening up today. Fletch, I had no idea that you didn't have anyone to lean on. I would be happy.
Man, I was to say we were going to that later. Jesus Christ, Dave likes to interrupt.
We're still learning this chat integration thing.
Dave's learning the chat integration thing. But anyway,
I almost wore handcuffs today as punishment for slamming the table.
It's now I just lost the hell I was going to say. Well, music. You listen to the. Oh, I got beard hair in my mouth. Yeah, you listen to what's on the album. That wasn't one take. I mean, a lot. Yeah, unless you go to like the older stuff. But how many times do they have to record it? Right. It's one take. But yeah, they did it in like 20 different takes. Now it's all post that you could edit. Okay, I like this part from and that's what we did on the track that we made. That me and my buddy made it was like, okay, I didn't like one of the riffs that I did, so we cut it in half and then just superimpose it together. It's like you could do that kind of stuff together. So it's not like I had to be.
Is he like really good with editing software? Because the time frame you said doesn't sound very long to get like a whole song done, like 4 or 5 hours. That's great. Like if you got that done in the studio that fast, that would be great.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. He's good at it. That's what he wants to do. But yeah, to Fletch's thing. But yeah, it's. Well, Fletch, for people that don't see the chat, it's just this will eventually go on YouTube. Is people give advice and quick to help people give advice, but then they don't have somebody to lean on. That was a huge problem with me in right out of high school in college. I don't want to go too in depth into it, but pretty much I got into a situation where, well, first off, I had a whole bunch of friends. I would help them out. We all party. We all be best of friends. Right. Everybody helps each other out. However, I got myself in a situation that I needed anyone because I was too ashamed to tell my family or anything like that. But in the end, it was just my family. They were the ones that helped me out, and at that point, I was just like, at that point, I was really shut off. I did not have friends. I did not talk to anybody. If anybody tried to get close to me, I would not want them to be close to me. And shortly after that, that's when I met you guys, and I started hanging out. But even then, you look at it, Mike and I. We hung out with each other. I hung out with Mike. I hung out with you. I would meet people, but I was never, had a large group of friends.
Yeah, right.
Where people,
like you're well known, but not deeply known.
Exactly. Yeah. Because again, I did not want to let myself be vulnerable to that spot to be able to do it. So for you, Fletch, you have other people that you can. I mean, I don't know your situation, but I'm sure you have other people to rely on. But for me, I made that my situation. I made it because I had a time where I needed somebody to rely on, and people could have relied on me, and they did. And I was like, I would be the first one there. How much money do you need? Where do you need a ride to? What can I do to make it better? But then, like, when I needed them, they just all bailed on me. So I was just like, I put myself in a situation that I was like, I the only people I can rely on, and I still hold it to this day. It's just like the only people that I can truly rely on are my family. They're the first ones that I will rely on.
Well, for the record, I always do the opposite. I always go out of my way.
Yes, you do.
I mean, sometimes I overpromise and underdeliver just because I'm so like overly kind to people that I want to be more than I can be. But I do try to help everybody's like oh, I'm gonna move. I tried to help you when you moved. I've been there a couple times. And when Fletch says, like, I don't have anyone to lean on, I'm like, I want to be that guy who's like, because like I said, my mom's a psychologist, so like I've seen these knots unraveled. I've seen these problems like helped. I had a lot of interactions with classmates in high school where like one person would tell me like I haven't eaten in a couple days, and I'd be like, could we bring some food to class, like, but not say anything and not call out anyone who's not eating, but like we probably should bring some food. We should probably cater this next class meeting. Or like someone kicked out of the house from their parents and like homeless before they're out of high school. I'm like, hey, you can sleep in my, you can stay at my place until we find somewhere for you to be. Yeah. It's just like, so I don't want you guys to feel like, oh man, yeah, he says his family's the last place.
Yeah, and I think that Red Lionhead, you're saying your family's the last place you look for any help. I think that family dynamics is, obviously plays a big thing. Yeah. Me and my family, we have always been pretty close. It's just my mom has been there. My dad has been there.
Would you consider them old fashioned?
What do you mean?
Your mom and dad? Well, I just see like your brother's in the military, and didn't your dad serve as well?
Yeah, he is in the military as well. I wouldn't say that they're old fashioned. They're not like old fashioned Spanish,
like hit you with chocolate
or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But it's just like me and my family are very close, and when I see, I've dated people where they're not close with their family. They could go days and days without talking to their parents. I'm like, how do you do that? Like, even though I train with both my parents and I see them pretty much almost daily, but even before we were training, I would text them, I would call them just to see how they were doing.
That's cool. I mean, I always considered our family very close. We don't have like a large family tree. We don't have cousins. We don't have a lot of grands or anything like that. But what we did have was close. But even then, we didn't really like talk as much as you do. So,
but like I remember you would go over to your mom's house pretty much once or twice a week.
At some points it was like that, but my problem is like I'm very bad at maintaining relationships. Like I see someone and I have adoration for them and I admire them and I consider them a friend. So in my mind, we're good. Like we don't need to maintain that friendship. But then I won't see them for 5 years, 10 years, and in my mind we're still friends. But I'm like, are we really? Did I just like let that boat sail away and didn't even like wave? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it kind of got like that with my family too, where it's like, oh yeah, I'll see you next weekend. I'm really bad like that right now with my brother's kids because it's like, oh, where's Uncle David? I'm like, okay, I have time this Sunday. I'll come see you. But then it's breakfast time, and then it's lunchtime, and then I have to do something in the afternoon, and then it's almost nighttime, and then I'm like, oh, why bother going over there now? It's almost nighttime. I'll just turn around and come home anyways. And they only live 45 minutes or an hour away. Jesus. So it's like, I am the worst. And that's one thing I've always admired about Andrew is like he goes out of his way to like reach out to people and check on them and maintain friendships. And he probably has more like healthy friendships than anyone I've ever met. He like
how do you do as an adult?
What's
your secret?
He's got a kid too, and it's like he's friends with people at the comic shop and he stays in touch with them and they go to each other's weddings and they go to each other, you know what I mean? Yeah. Every place he's ever been, he's like planted the seeds there and watered them. I just kind of like grabbed the low-hanging fruit, like had some cool friendships, and then like
enjoy the taste, and then be like, all right, bye.
Much. There's some guys that I really like that like in 2 or 3 jobs past that I've had. We share some memes on Facebook. Yeah. That's it.
But as like I know that this whole thing like was talked about, because for me it's just because I kind of kept myself closed off to like a whole bunch of friends. And also, it was the same thing with relationships. When I met you guys, it was towards the end of one relationship that
you were in or that I was.
That I was in.
Okay.
And that one relationship really screwed me up until fairly recently. It was just because, like I said, at the same time, that I had that situation where I cut everybody off pretty much. And kept myself closed up.
She was a big part of your friend circle as well.
No, right? she wasn't a part of my friend circle at all.
From the outside looking in, it looked like.
No, she wasn't a part of my friend circle. This is my ex relationship from like way back when. Okay. But she and I met randomly at a Steak and Shake, and then she remembered me and she hit me up, and then I ended up hang out with her shortly afterwards, and I was like, oh, well, maybe it's not so bad. I can open up to one person, and then that whole thing that ended like a
nuclear fire.
No, yeah. I was going to ask you because you know how it ended, and
pretty ugly.
Yeah, it was, and at that point, I was just like, yeah, now I can't open up to anybody. I can't open up to a relationship. Yeah. I can't open up, and it actually, it affected a lot of my relationships going forward. Where I couldn't talk to my significant other because like you said earlier, you can't talk to your significant other because there's like there's
the
stigma,
social dynamic there, and sometimes you don't really want to rock the boat, like especially if you have a new thing or a thing that's going pretty good. It's like I just don't want to complicate this anymore.
And it affected me, mentally, where I had nobody to open up to, nobody. So I started seeing a therapist because that was a great third party. They don't know me.
No.
They don't know me. They're there to listen to me.
They're not there to take a side.
And then they it helped out.
Honestly, a lot of the podcasts I listen to, this is a topic that comes up often because stand-up comics are so messed up in their personal lives.
So fucked up.
So most of them are like, everyone should be in therapy. Like we need to remove the stigma, and especially it's worse in some other countries, but in America is like, like you said, man up. If you're not handling your problem, if you're not just, I don't know, soldiering through it or ignoring it or however they think. They think you're just gonna flip a switch and be like, I'm okay now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And
thanks, I'm healed. That whole thing, exactly. man up. Oh, thanks, I'm healed.
Yeah, just get a hold of yourself. Okay, everything's fine.
Yeah, but on the reverse side, it's just like I feel like a lot of things, especially I don't know how it is in other countries, but a lot of people, I'm like playing with this thing. I keep stabbing holes in.
That's how I know that you're legitimately upset right now because I've never seen you like so busy with your hands.
I wouldn't say I'm upset, but it's just like opening up is definitely
vulnerable.
It's definitely harder. But
I said at the beginning that I was always going to be the guy who was like going to overshare.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I just have no boundary.
But
I'm not going to push you somewhere where you're like, I don't want to talk about it.
No, I'll have my limits. But a lot of therapists. I don't know how it is in other countries, but a lot of, I wouldn't say just therapists. A lot of medical experts here in America are pill pushers. They're just gonna be like, you have an imbalance of this, take this.
Well, it is there are lobbyists who go to practices and encourage them to prescribe certain things, and there is a self-interest that they're pursuing. But there's a mindset in America of treat everything. It's like if you have the sniffles, take a pill. If you're sad, take a pill. If you can't sleep, take a pill. You know what I mean? It's like pill.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, there's some, I'm not going to say that like depression is something like you should just figure out on your own.
No.
There are some things where it's like, you don't take antibiotics when you have a cold. It's just not something you're supposed to do. And
why not? Not to take antibiotics when you got a cold.
No, antibiotics don't kill viruses.
Well, hey, today I learned. I don't know. Dave's not a medical expert, but
I'm pretty sure I got that right. Antibiotics don't kill viruses. This is how you get super bugs, because people over treat, and then the other things become resistant to drugs because you're taking too many drugs all the time.
Yeah.
And when you spread that strain to someone else, they get the super strain because you developed the super strain in your own.
So I want to make a super Robbi virus.
That's called semen.
Anyway,
it's called childbirth.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said it. Antibiotics kills bacteria. It doesn't kill viruses.
I hate. It's not that I hate medication or anything like that. I just hate going to the doctors. I just hate. There's nothing I like about the doctor's office. But
I do all right at the doctor's office.
Anyway,
I do okay there, but mental stuff is different. I probably should go to therapy. I keep talking again, giving advice to others and not taking it.
I've gone to therapy. It finally. Last time I went to therapy was during my last relationship towards the end, because she had some. She had some issues. She had some issues that she needed to take care of.
So you were couples therapy, or?
Well, yeah, we did couples therapy because we were engaged, and she was like, okay, well, trying to grasp at anything to like try to save this marriage and all this stuff, and then it just at that moment I was just like, no, there's really nothing that can save this. But just before that, it was just like I had actually once again let myself be open. I was like, here you go. This is me. And it's just like it was just a whole bunch of stuff. And like I said, I think that therapy helps people out. For me, it helped me out to express things, but then it also helped me out to realize with the last relationship, there was just no hope. It was just like we're just gonna put on a happy face for a few months, right, a few weeks, a few years, and then just be in the same place again. So it's just like, no.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to say that. Like, I was always a romantic, so I always, every time I got feelings for a girl, I'd be like, I'm in love. You know what I mean? This is the one. This is we're gonna go all in on this every single time. And yeah, it's just like the real world's not like that. You just have to, like, if it's going to be a 6-month thing, let it be a 6-month thing, People squeeze so tight and hold on so tight.
So what Red Lion Head is talking about, Scandinavia is very good when it comes to mental health, much because our culture focuses a lot on having life outside of work. 25 days of legally mandated vacation, paid sickness, paternal and maternal leave, and we're one of the happiest people on the world. Yes. That is absolutely, yes, it is 100% because of work, and the field that I work in sucks. And I've told Kate, I've told different recruiters that call me, I don't want to be in IT anymore because it's just, but it just sucks that that's what I'm good at. That's what I'm good at, and there's no work-life balance. And I've told every recruiter that calls me, oh, we have this job, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I want a work-life balance that I'm not working 24/7.
You know what's so scary is, like, I feel like when I tell bosses or hiring managers or whatever that I want a work-life balance, I feel like I'm delivering, like, a grievous sin.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like, how dare I? I'm sorry, master, but may I please have a life outside?
And the thing is, though, we're to a lot of employers, I'm not saying every employer, but to a lot of employers, we're disposable. We don't matter to them. We're just another body that's filling a spot that, guess what, they could replace easily. And I saw something on Reddit where a guy was pretty much said that, where he said, I have put in my 2 weeks notice on every job that I've quit. Within those 2 weeks, I get fired. That goes to show you they don't care about you as a human. They care about you as a bottom line, yada, yada, yada. And I've actually had, something similar happen to me at work recently that's really gotten me pretty down about it. It's I have an on-call schedule. It's every 3 weeks. It's shared between me and 2 other guys. So every third week is my on-call week. So right now, this is my week. I'm on call. The other 2 guys are in another country. When they're on call, I'm expected to be on call as well.
What?
Because they're in a different country, different time zone, and all this. So I'm expected to be on call within certain times because, and this is what my higher up has told me. Oh, we don't want to burn so and so out. And I just like.
But what about me?
Exactly, and that's just it. I'm just like. So that goes to show me, obviously they care about this person because they are a much more advanced technician. They are much more advanced at this, at that. But for me, it's just like, okay, so I get it. You don't care about me or anything like that.
It is rough when you commit so much of your time, like, and brain power to something that just, like, does not give a shit about you. And
don't get me wrong. If shit, like, I've 2 weeks ago when I was working, until 1 a.m. When I was working until 1 a.m. That's one thing. That's holy shit. We just lost an entire data center. All hands on deck. I've worked in data centers where same thing, where it was a weekend. We lost half of the data center. We lost power to half of the data center. I drove into the data center, worked my ass off and everything. Shit like that. I understand when it's all hands on deck. Holy crap. But when you're calling me on my personal cell phone because you don't want to call the on-call person,
that's pretty wild. Yeah,
no.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Do you ever get to keep a second cell phone? Do you ever get to, like, have one issued by work?
Yeah, I do. I told them, do not call my personal phone. You call my personal phone, you have to pay me more because you're using my my service and all of that. So they stopped calling my personal phone, and good. And they know my schedule. Listen, I train martial arts. These are my times. If I'm not available, it's because of this.
I can imagine one of your like Disney trips getting cut off for work, and that would just be like so invasive. It's like, you realize that this is my only escape from you, right? And you're like gonna cut me off from it.
Yeah, well, I've had situations where I've been at my dojo, have to pull up my laptop because something happened. But that one was at least early enough. That was before, because I get to the dojo early. I open up, I get everything ready. But yeah, it's just been tough, and that's the thing, you know, with this field, it's a work-life balance that they don't care. And like I said, I'm not saying every employer, like every IT employer is like this, but for me, it's I'm on call, but then at the same time, I'm expected to be at my phone because if something happens, and it's just like
I can't believe they didn't call the on-call guy. Like, what is he getting paid for if they're calling you and not him?
Yeah, well,
is he someone's son or something? Like, what's the special?
I don't know, but it hasn't happened. It hasn't happened again recently. And if it were to, if something like that were to happen,
you might not be able to keep your mouth shut anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I've played it in my head, the scenario where I close my laptop. I put my phone down. I put my badge down. I'm like, here you go.
Doesn't that scenario feel so good when you're running through it in your head? Like, let me tell you about a job I had. So I had a job where, the turnover is outrageous. Every 6 months there's a new staff, including the store manager. They work you as hard as they can possibly work you. They burn you out. They get rid of you. Yeah. And I got hurt there, and the district manager came into the store, and I had gone to the hospital from the store, and she was unsatisfied with the quality of the work that I did while I was injured, which I had to go to the hospital for. She had multiple times called me at home or at the gym to bitch me out, basically. When most of the people had burned out, and the people that were left were the most dedicated, the most enthusiastic, the most, capable of putting up with bullshit. The best people were left, basically. I told the district manager that our store outperforms because we're professionals, and she laughed in my face. And that was this place where I was fantasizing about the same fantasy you're going, quitting, fantasizing about quitting. So I got called at the gym and bitched out for something that literally was above and beyond that I had done, but it took like an extra hour of payroll. So they were like, why the hell did you use an extra hour of payroll? And I was like, I'm not coming back. You're not getting my key back. I'm not making the drive. You can change all the locks. I'm not giving you 2 weeks notice. You're never going to see me again. And I wrote a 2-page letter to, there is no HR for this entire corporation. It's a worldwide corporation without an HR.
Really? Yeah.
Wow. And so I had to give it to their customer service, this 2-page letter. I burned the bridge. I nuked it from orbit. I was like, you guys have gone beyond the, extraordinarily efficient to brutal to unmanageable. I had coworkers reduced to tears on the sales floor. Just anything you could think of. And I was like, my manager, his wife is pregnant. I doubt he'll see the kid born. I was like, you guys just don't give a shit. And I just was so done. Yeah. And then the district manager, after reading this note that everyone in the company ended up getting because it was that, caustic. Yeah. But it was very professional. It was like, I came at it from like one of them. Like, I was on your team. I was enthusiastic to be on your team, but you have to understand that this is what it's like to work for you. And the district manager came down on my direct manager because I had said that he's not going to see his kid born. Yeah. And he hadn't told me to say that. We hadn't discussed it. It was just like an observation that I made, and he got in trouble for it.
Yeah. Redline, I wish I could do like you. He says that he charges at least 30 minutes at 200% hourly rate for a 1-minute phone call after his work hours. Yeah, you should. And I wish I could do that, But the thing is, I don't think I have any kind of legal standpoint to do that. As far, I don't know, and at this point, I really don't care. But if they haven't called me or anything since the issue last time, What's up, Rocktism? So it's a weird thing. So whenever I'm not on call, so in case you just showed up and didn't hear, so I'm on a 3-week rotation of being on call. When I'm on call, I do have I do kind of, I guess I have some sort of a obligation to be by my phone and have a laptop close by so I can log in and do stuff. But those other 2 weeks, I say fuck it, and I literally I'll bring my phone with me, but I don't listen.
You don't have to
answer. I don't answer it. I don't wow. I don't answer it. And if they do call, some of them do have my personal phone number. If they call enough times, and then they call my personal phone, I'll go off on them. But no, yeah. But one of the things is, a whole bunch of people have actually quit this job because of different things. My last manager told me that he had like a mental breakdown because of shit like that. When he quit, he told me, he's like, I put my marriage on, I put my marriage at risk. I put all these things at risk. When he quit, and one of the engineers tried calling me, he actually said, "Oh, wow, we were just so used to so-and-so being available 24 hours. And I told him, I'm sorry, but I'm not him.
But they're asking like, oh, couldn't you just not answer the call? You don't have to answer if you're not on. Well,
right.
You can't. You kind of have to. Like, it makes you look bad.
Exactly.
They start to get this image of you as someone who's unreliable, even though you're
right.
legally obligated, and then all of a sudden you don't have a job because you weren't
right. Exactly.
above and beyond doing free work.
And that's the thing, that if I don't answer the phone, if I don't answer the phone when I'm not on call, then they're gonna use that against me and fire me. And I'm just like, and it's a shame because I obviously need the job. I need to pay for my house. I need to pay for my car. I need to pay for all these things.
It always baffles me when I see people from other countries tell me how it is in their country. I'm just like, how did it get so bad so fast? Like,
yeah,
how did this happen? How did we end up here?
Yeah, and one of the stories that my manager told me when he was leaving was there was a guy who had gotten into an accident or something and ended up in the hospital. Mm-hmm. He had surgery and it was done. They called him mm-hmm. and said, "Hey, can you do this for us?" And he's like, "You guys know I'm at the hospital." Yeah, we know, but can you do this for us? And it's just like, goes to show you that's just,
how do you expect me to do it?
Yeah,
on my phone.
But the thing is, I can't find, unfortunately, I have all these bills that I can't go,
yeah,
to do a retail job. I need to find a job like this that. So
you have a valuable skill set that you hate doing, but you can't afford not to use it.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, Fletch, I have skills. I can get another job with a place with a job at a place with a better environment, but those places aren't hiring, and if they are hiring, then they want a lot more, and it just sucks, I'm and that has really been beating on me as far as mentally, and that plays into my, I'm gonna be stuck in, like, that video, I'm gonna be stuck here forever, and it's just, I'm not going to be able to do what it is that I want to do. And that's what's so defeating. And I get home, I pick up my guitar, and I'm just like, I suck at this. Why am I even wasting my time doing this? And then
it's like a vicious cycle.
Exactly.
You hate being at work and you hate being at home.
Yeah. And it's just, it's just awful. I want to stream. I want to play guitar. I want to play music. I want to play bass. I want to do all this stuff. But
dude, I know so many people who
but mentally I can't.
So many people just like check out of the rat race. They're just like, I'm going to live in the desert, or I'm gonna, you know what I mean, I'm gonna be a beach bum and I'm gonna work at a pizza place, and I don't care if I have debt. I'm just gonna sleep on the couch and surf on the weekends, and I'm checking out of the rat race completely. There's actually a kind of a sub movement in America where people like get their student debt, like finish school, and then like go move to another country and be like, see ya student debt.
Yeah, no, and that's honestly where I feel like, that would be a good move for me. It's just, sell everything, sell my car, sell my house, sell all my material goods, except for a few things.
The core things.
I would want to keep my guitars. I would want to keep like certain things and just go to a different country. Just be like, start exactly new life. Who dis? But
I've thought about it a lot actually. Especially when we read these firsthand accounts of like, I have a $25 medical bill. That's what it's capped at, or what was it? Was it 25 or 250?
I don't even want to talk about what Red Line had that benefit that he has over there.
Yeah. God. So it's just like I'd be willing to suffer through being a second-class citizen somewhere who's not on the plane. Even though when you're not on the plane, it's still cheaper. If I had to pay into his plane, it would be like a laughably low, copay. But just to make sure that my kids like don't have to go through the shit where there's no like collective bargaining. Oh, that's what I was going to say earlier. You're talking about there's nothing I can do. I'm just an independent contractor. It's not like you can like collectively bargain with your other coworkers because you're all independent contractors. And that's like what our country is moving towards, is like every single person who drives a truck, delivers packages, does any of this stuff, you're all independent contractors. None of you have benefits and none of you can collectively bargain. It's totally awful. It's totally bullshit.
Yeah, and it's like, when it comes down to like, what am I gonna tell my employer, like if they call me on a day that I'm not working? I'll help you out, but you gotta pay me.
I've actually been thinking of pretending to be a religion that can't work on Sundays. I'm dead serious. Like, it's the same way people take up smoking just because they know they'll get a break every once in a while, just to go outside and smoke a cigarette.
So Red Light had said a student debt for 3 years, bachelor, so a typical bachelor, $20,000 total over there. So I'm at 40 right now, and that's just from 2 years. Yeah, the first 2 were paid. Yeah, because if you go to I don't know, it obviously depends on your program. I know that attorneys and doctors, theirs are exceptionally higher, but I think that in my field, when I was going to college, I was fortunate enough that I don't have any kind of student debt, but I think it's like total was at the end, if I actually graduated, it would have been like somewhere around 85,000.
I'm just talking about the portion that I had to pay for. I'm at 40 for 2 years, and that's not counting like
to it
bright futures.
Yeah, bright futures and all. Yeah, no, and then there's people that hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then you go to these trade colleges like Full Sail or something like that, but also those people are money people most of the time, but those people are well above $100,000.
I've only seen like 3 kinds of people that go to Full Sail: stoners that will never ever make it, people that already know everything that they're in the field for and they're just going there to get the piece of paper so that they can get the job, and then like rich kids who have nothing better to do with their time. Basically, it's the only 3 types of people I've ever seen it at Full Sail. But Fletch works for a small company. He's saying that he actually like wouldn't mind if people don't answer when they're off the clock. That's just doesn't exist in like corporations where there's shareholders and just shit is rolling downhill from one guy to the next. One guy's breathing down this guy's neck all the way down the chain until you get to the bottom.
Shit. So Red Line says that $20,000 covered everything: tuition, books, and housing.
That's awful, dude.
I was talking about 85,000. That's just tuition. Yeah. That's not books.
You know what's scary is that's gonna get worse. I can't fathom that. Like the single family, like a 3-bedroom house with like a mom and dad and 2 kids is like not going to exist anymore. Yeah. The American dream is like going to be extinct completely. That's funny. If I see Full Sail on a resume, I go next.
So I actually, if you're okay, I just want to take a quick break because I have been drinking this water like crazy, and I am
when we get full, we get dry and parched.
So we're gonna take a quick break, and then we'll be right back to continue on with this talk.
See ya.
All right, and we are back.
We're back. You're back. Everybody's back.
Guess who's back?
So getting
back
caught up
again.
on the toolbox
Robbie's
fallacy.
back. Tell some men.
It's raining, man.
Hallelujah.
So I'm really trying to break myself out of this cycle as well. There's two other things that this video made me think about. Fallacies. It's so hard to cheat yourself how to not fall for these traps. The one that really, really got me maybe like 5 or 10 years ago is sunk cost fallacy, where it's like, well, I've put so much money and time into this project or this relationship or something that I can't give up on it now. It's like, it seems like it makes sense logically, but it absolutely makes no sense, because it's like saying, I'm going to build a new couch or build a new kitchen in this house that's on fire. You know what I mean? It's like just throwing good money after bad money. You know, no amount of, at some point you just have to just cut it loose and let it go. Like relationships, business ventures, whatever it might be. And it was just so eye-opening to like really try to learn that. So yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for me, it's like, I don't want to sound like pretentious or anything like that, but it's just like,
well, you're definitely more like stable in this way than a lot of people. I think
it's for me. It's like, I don't care about putting the money into it. It's just, I want the return on investment as far as my energy, my you know, what.
So you want fruit.
What I put into it, not the money, but you know, my own personal time, my own energy, and like, I don't know, that's what I want to see. I want, and like I said, that song, I don't care how much I spent on the guitar, the pickups. Right. I don't care about that stuff. I care that I put my time into this, and holy shit, this came out amazing. Well, I like it.
Now that you're streaming and we have a podcast, you should just write all that stuff off anyways. No. Literally everything in this room, just write it all off. Nah. What do you mean, nah? It's completely legal.
I don't know. I don't want to get into all that kind of stuff. I know I have to.
Yeah, I won't push you.
I'm just like, I don't want to have to look into all that stuff. But yeah, it's
everyone has their own personal compunctions. Did I ever tell you about Andrew's sperm?
What?
So Andrew, our good friend that 3 of us are familiar with, he is what, 6'2" or something like that. He's very tall.
Yeah.
And he has a master's degree. So his sperm is at the highest tier of sperm donor bracket it can be. And they accept a donation, I think, once a week. So he could literally pop in there on his lunch break once a week, pop one out, and get, I think it's either $1,000 or $3,000 per visit.
Jesus
so he
Christ.
could basically, at the tier he's at for semen donation, he could basically double his. I mean, I don't know how much he makes, but at the time we had this conversation, it was probably doubling his income, and he won't do it because of moral, religious, psychosocial implications of having a little army of his clones out there somewhere in the world. But me personally, I'd be. They would have to keep me out. They'd have a sign on the door that's like, we have enough.
Yeah, well, the difference between you and him is that he has morals.
But I do have morals. I mean, I get the joke, but I get the joke, but I always have to defend that like atheists don't have morals, because I'm like, I totally have morals. If you know how many people I could take advantage of if I turn my powers to evil, my powers of convincing people, and you know what I mean.
Fletch, I have the stream pulled up, and it looks like I could see us. I don't know if you need to refresh or whatnot, but yeah. Where did that come up?
Sperm.
Why the sperm?
You wouldn't do a tax write-off of all the gear for the show because you have a compunction or hang-up there somewhere. I don't know if it's your work ethic or what is not letting you keep the government from taxing you for these things.
Oh yeah, no.
But that's what made me think of like, everyone has a line they're not willing to cross,
Yeah, no. But yeah, it's like I said, you look at the guitars that I have, you look at the drums the keyboards, like I have this equipment because I want to do something with it, and it's like
you feel dishonest if you write it off?
No, it's not. I'm not talking about I'm not talking about the write off stuff. Okay. But for me, it's just like it was never about the money.
This is becoming the screen. I think that's what he's trying to say.
What?
Like the framing that you have is all he can see. Now I just see 2 and a Diet Coke can.
That's you and me and that Diet Coke.
Oh, I thought he was literally just seeing.
No, cause that's what he sees.
Okay,
I have it zoomed in so I can see the chat. But anyways,
2 turntables and a microphone.
Yeah, Dave's new to the whole computer thing. But
no, I'm becoming aware of the fact that I am actually like less technologically literate than I thought I was.
Yeah.
Because I've always been around tech, like fixing cars, building computers, some programming, but like the more I get into it, the more I realize that I'm just not willing to learn. And it's bad.
But so it's like I want to be able to use these things. You know, I've spent the money on these things, and I'm just like, okay, that's money that I had. That's money that I had that I could use that to do other stupid shit. But I'm using it to do that. So to me, it's not.
That's an investment.
It's exactly. It's an investment. You know, like you said. You look at it by, okay, I spent, or you're talking about the money fallacy.
Sunk cost fallacy.
Sunk cost fallacy. I've spent so much money, I need to do this. For me, it doesn't really matter about the money. It's, I want to be able to put in the effort and then see something come out of it.
Yeah. I think sunk cost fallacy at some point kind of played into the band too, because it's like, we've been doing this for so many years. We've rented cars, we've printed shirts, we've paid for studio time, we've bought a van. Like, there's no money coming back in. At some point where like it's either got to happen or we got to stop. You know what I mean? That's where sunk cost fallacy really teaches you like hard ass lessons. Yeah. The other one that was really hard for me, other than the two we've covered already, is diminishing costs or diminishing return. This is really hard for poor kids, because for poor kids every single penny matters. Every single, you know, if you see a penny on the ground, it's worth picking up every single time. Yeah. But as you get older, you have to realize that like it's not worth picking up that penny. Like like the free time you're talking about where they're calling you outside of work, right? That time is more limited than the time you're getting paid for. Right. So it has to be worth more monetarily. So some things that you could do yourself just aren't worth your time anymore, like mowing your lawn or doing an oil change on your car. You know, it seems like it makes sense. It seems like you're saving $20 or $40 or however much it might be, but it's actually costing you more than that. So there's a diminishing return for trying to chase down every penny, trying to save every dollar. At some point, it's just like, no, it's not worth chasing every dollar. Oh well, that was one of the things that like it kind of plays into that, where you're talking about, you know, my free time and all this. That post I saw on Reddit where the guy was talking about how he put in his 2 weeks and he's been fired from every job, but before the 2 weeks, he was saying, you know, that job is not worth the missed time with your family. Now, you know, spend time with your loved ones. Absolutely. So many people when that's their biggest regret is that they didn't spend exactly, and that's one of the things that I don't want it to be. It's just, you know, I don't want to be that person that was a work to live to work, whatever. But like I said, I want that work-life balance. That I could see my family, see my loved ones. Let me ask you to clarify that a little bit. So when he's getting fired in that last 2 weeks, are you saying that they're firing him to keep him from getting something, to keep him from getting a severance or a benefit? No, just they just don't care. Exactly. Just they don't need him. So that was the thing that he said. You know, we are replaceable. It feels very petty when they fire you in your 2 weeks notice, because it's almost like they want you to be thinking that you were going to get paid for 3 more days. You know what I mean? They want you to be like, you're going to quit? Well, what are you going to do about those 3 days now, huh? Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like, yeah. That's also another funny realization, is like every company or brand or whatever it is, it's still just people at the end of the day. People can be petty, people can be senseless, people can be naive, they can be all those things, and all at the same time, all the time. Yeah. It's really horrifying to think of how many people are in charge who have like no one's ever said no to them before. You know what I mean? They're just surrounded by yes men their whole life. Just given everything. I always think about like a lot of these politicians that have like a weird name. You're like, what is that? Like Newt Gingrich. Like I've never known anyone named Newt. Mitt Romney. I've never known anybody named Mitt. The reason we don't know these people with these names is because they live on a completely different planet. They're in this yacht club, good old boy mentality where, you know what I mean? In those, you know, cigar smoking jacket room clubs, those names are just like, yeah, everyone's got a name like that. But for people who have, I mean, you're talking about something completely different. They come from a different generation. Those names were those names that those names would be a norm. You know, I'm sure there are several people not in those yacht clubs, not in that have those names too. But I'm just trying to point out that like these corporations is just kind of like, you know, some people are just kind of fast tracked to be in upper management, and they just have no idea what it's like to be. You know, they never started at the bottom and worked their way up. You know. They came from officer school. Yeah, exactly. Ooh.
There you go. What kind of Robin Dave? What kind of weird names are those? Is that?
Yeah.
No, but I have no clue where you're going with that.
I'm saying they don't relate. They don't know what it's like to be a regular person. They didn't work their way.
One he said is yes, man. That's one of the reasons why I quit my last job. Was I was working for somebody else. I was under somebody else. I was unhappy, but my manager, my direct manager, he was good enough to be able to push stuff off. It was seriously I would get something from, so I never had any external customer communication, but I had all internal from salespeople. So a salesperson would sell the product saying 2 + 2 = Apple. They would sell it, say 2 + 2 = Apple. Here you go. Here's the product. And then they'd be like, hey, can you show that 2 + 2 = Apple? No. Oh, well, we sold it to say 2 + 2 = Apple. You need to make it say 2 + 2 = I'm like, that's not possible. Yeah. My manager was he was able to, he was able to say no and push stuff off like that. Because he was able to do that. He got pushed.
Social savvy?
He just was technical enough that he knew that was not possible. So then he got pushed out of his role, and then a yes man got put into his role, and then I was just like, I can't do this, so I'm out.
I also hate when when someone comes under fire. A good manager will like step in for his people and be like, I'm in between you and the problem, you know what I mean, or the person or the angry person or whoever they might be.
Yeah.
And a bad manager will just be like, fuck you, this is your fault, you know what I mean. It's just a great way to build like camaraderie, and a functioning team unit. For me, it's just like, I'm not a yes man. If working in IT, working in development, working in this stuff, I'm limited to so much. Yes, I can do a whole lot more. I will go above and beyond to get stuff done. But when you want the impossible, then no. Yeah.
Like,
how do you tell them that though?
Yeah, and it's just awful. And then once I got the new manager, that's like when it really took. That's when it really took a whole lot on me. It's just like, man, it was just, I can't work with a yes man. That's the point where it was just a whole lot of being overworked to holy hell.
It's so hard to like manage someone else's opinion of you. Like, what you're capable of and what you do when you're there, but the littlest thing from like a tattoo to a conversation can give such a wrong impression. So I'm so aware recently of like trying to manage my external appearance, no resting bitch face, just trying to make the impression that I want to make at all times. And it's a little stressful, but it definitely pays off.
Yeah, and Red Lion Head, that's exactly what it was. He says non-technical managers that don't know the product and sell something that isn't possible, and then look at you like the internet that's for not delivering it. So yeah, we had a non-technical manager. Like, we had a technical manager that was able to push things off, and then we got a customer service manager that he became the manager. And at customer service, he was not like, he had some technical, but not a whole lot. And it was just,
it's the worst.
Yeah, it just like I said, it just got worse. And I was just like, I need to get out of this job. I found the job that I'm in now, and I thought everything was hunky dory. And then the veil got pulled to the sides, like, wow. And I'm like, fuck,
steaming pile with flies on it.
I'm back at it.
We got a complaint that I'm soft-spoken. I don't know. Maybe we're just being very introspective today, and I'm being a little more meditative. Or maybe we'll figure out what the mics are doing. I'm sorry if it's coming off weird.
No, I have all the levels set the same.
Okay.
So
okay,
you're just soft-spoken.
Maybe I'm just in that place today. Not telling jokes about my dead parents and being a little more sensitive.
It's just because my microphone's better. That's
Robbi's also yelling because he's upset about his crap job. No. His good crap job. I don't know what you want to call it. No, he's just like, my boss is such a... a little more projecting, a little more. So by comparison, I'm just like, hey guys, how's your day?
No, I have Dave's turned up. I could probably turn you up a little bit more, but I don't want to go mess with the soundboard. Well, not the soundboard, the mixer. But anyways, yes. Well, yeah, my mic is hotter. But anyways, what were we talking? Well, I don't know. I don't remember what we were talking about the whole. Yeah, like I said, it's just in the field I'm in. It's just overwork, and a lot of people do it. And yeah, if I don't do it, if I'm not on call or whatever, then they'll can me and find somebody else that will do it.
You know what's so weird? I'm in tech. I've gone from computer science to tech writing and to a lot of different things kind of in the techie area. And a lot of the kids in my classes aren't necessarily on the same track as me. And they'll be like, oh, I'm in IT, I'm in cybersecurity. And so many people are like actively desiring to do the thing you're talking about. That just sounds so awful to like the soul.
Well, everybody asks me, oh, how does he? Yes, I am a Floridian.
Ooh, who dis?
Yeah, who? Hi,
welcome.
New Twitch, who dis? But anyways, yeah, it's just a lot of people ask me, oh, how do I get into IT and or I want to get into IT. You got any advice? Don't do it.
Yeah,
that's like even my guitar instructor.
That sign that's run out the window of the office building when you're walking into the interview.
My guitar instructor, he said, oh, I like doing programming, and I told him, listen.
Does anyone really like programming?
Oh yeah, I love programming, but I love programming for myself, and that's why I told him, I'm like, listen, when I was programming for myself, it was fun. I love doing little projects here and there for myself, but when I was working in like 2 or 3 jobs ago, when I first got like my first programming job, it was awful because then I had to program for other people and I realized this sucks. Yeah. And then I took a break from it for a while and I was like, oh, let me try it again. Then I started doing it again. I was like, this sucks.
That's the same relationship I've had with computer science. I started college in computer science. They were like, oh, you have really high SAT scores. We're going to give you a laptop if you go into computer science. And I'm like, haha, sure. And then they were like, ooh, sorry, that's only for National Merit finalists. And you're only a National Merit semifinalist. So, sorry. And then I was like, okay, well, I hate this, so I'm not staying. And then I've come back to it twice and left it every single time. I get a Turkish teacher who I can't understand a word she's saying. No. So she's speaking computer with a Turkish accent. And I'm just kind of like, I'm out. I can't do this. I like the logic. Pardon me, I'm drinking Coke now. I like the logical assessment of solving the problem and trying to wrap my brain around it and make it work and piece by piece. But then when I see the actual answer that someone else came up with, I'm like, I can't believe that's so elegant and beautiful. I would have came up with anything like that. My code looks like garbage. I hate myself.
Yeah, and that's actually a good point. That I should probably tell him that if you want to program, contribute to an open source project, because that's a really good thing. I mean, yes, Linux is far superior, but I'm
just waiting for game dev to be like as easy as Flash.
It is.
Yeah, I mean it is, but it isn't.
Game Maker Studio.
I have that, but it's.
Do Game Maker. You don't literally Game Maker Studio. You don't need to even know programming. Just drag and drop. They have that drag and drop thing. It's a very dumbed down version.
I am ashamed. Are you talking about the new Game Maker Studio or the old one?
Game Maker Studio 2.
Okay. I'll have to get that. I'll have to add that to my toolbox fallacy. Then I'll be a real.
I think I still have a key.
Yeah, that would be peachy.
I when I bought it, it has like 5 keys. But yeah,
nice.
It's a. Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably have to tell him that to
have go. People call my people.
No. But yeah, what other
something shiny?
What other fallacy did you read about?
Well, we were going down the deep rabbit hole of just horrible, hideous work experiences. Let's see. We covered our tyrannical managers, our terrible benefits, our overwork. The fact that you have to impress people even in ways that are illegal.
Yeah, and going back to that, I want to say impress. It's like every day, I know that I'm easily replaced.
Yeah.
Because the thing with IT, anything is just like the newest. There's always something new coming out, so somebody wants to try something new.
Yeah, it's kind of scary in a way. You have to stay relevant.
You have to stay current. And I have to stay relevant. I have to stay up to date with all this stuff because there's a bunch of young kids that they're now being introduced to that. I could easily be replaced by one of them because somebody has, and that was a problem with my last job, was people want to try the craziest cool new things.
Right. But it's not what we're working with.
Exactly. It's like, well, let's implement this. It's the hottest new tool. I just read about it on Reddit.
A lot of kids out of school are like that. Even kids in my like tech writing groups are like that. They're like, oh well, the people who are really in the know are working with this. This is what we should do.
Exactly. And then new languages. Well, this language, we should do this, and it's just crazy. And for me to stay up to date with all that stuff going on and on
at your own expense, by the way, you're not gonna get that paid for.
I'm concerned that if I don't do this, they'll fire me, and I'll have to. They will easily replace me with somebody else and pay them much less.
Have you ever thought about getting on your I was gonna say, have you ever thought about getting on your knees with the right people? But I mean that seriously, even though I'm saying it jokingly, like. Bump elbows, play darts, drink beers, suck up to the right people.
I'm not that kind of person.
I know. Isn't it so depressing? Like, I'm not here to stroke these guys' egos.
Exactly,
like,
I've worked with a lot of people that are like that, where they joke around with the managers and all that stuff. But I'm not like that.
So it's so sad. It's such a like 1950s mindset.
Exactly, and that those people are safe. They're buddy, and I'm just not like that. For me, it's my work ethic. If you don't want my work ethic, you don't want my performance, then whatever.
I saw that in the auto industry really bad. Like it's all the companies, all the repair chains. It's like a rotating cast of cards. They all know each other. Yeah. There'll be a manager here one week. There'll be a manager there the next week. It's just who drinks beers with who plays darts with who. It's really, really scummy.
Yeah, and that excuse me, that was like a big thing with my last job, was that the guys would, these people would go out to the bar because we worked in downtown Orlando. It's we go to the bar right after work and all this stuff, and they all shoot the shit. So
yeah, but you're in a cool country where the system actually works. So you guys are having fun. You guys aren't like sucking up to each other.
And we have
this crazy.
We have like team building events where we go out.
Pizza party.
Well, not a pizza party. Like we all actually go out, and there's an event that we all do. We went to the team went to, and it was considered a team building event, but it was also work kind of thing. We went to Tampa for a developers conference, and it was fun. Was all paid for, so we did that. Right. But sometimes they go out to the bars, they go out and do different things as like a team building event. But I'm just like, I'm not.
Well, you already don't have time. I mean, you barely have time to be here right now.
Well, also the alcohol, they're like, let's do a team building event. I have to make weight in a week.
Let's drink 3,000 calories of.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't do that. I need to make weight next week. So can we do this in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
When I need it.
I can't imagine what fighting with a hangover must be like.
Fighting with a hangover?
Yeah.
I have not fought with a hangover yet.
Do you know anyone who has? Has told you about it?
No. Actually, I have sparred with people that have been hungover. And they're like, it's not fun.
They're just a little bit slower, so they're just like, that punch got through.
Well, I've been in like actually striking kind of training, but I've done jiu-jitsu with people who have been hungover, and you like get your knee in their belly, and they're like, okay, I gotta go to the bathroom.
You know what's funny? That was always my like fantasy of like beating up the bully when I was a kid, is that I would punch him in the belly and he would throw up. That's like something you see in the movies. Like, take that.
If you punch somebody right, which is what I'm trying to teach these. Yeah. If I'm trying to teach these guys, it's like you get them. What is it? The solar plexus. Just get a good uppercut. Red Lion Head knows it. Shitatsuki. It's an uppercut pretty much. You get right there, get real good. And it hurts.
I thought you were going to tell me that I was right. You're telling me that's something I came up with when I was like 8 watching Three Ninjas. Is actually accurate.
No, if you get well, like I said, it's called Shitatsuki. You get that up real good.
You kind of wedge in there.
You kind of feel like when you're on the jungle gym and you fall on your back, or like the grape.
Oh yeah.
You just don't. You cannot
just
get
punch him straight in the diaphragm. Huh?
Yeah, you just cannot catch your breath after that, and that's in Red Lion had just a liver shot. One of the guys I train with, he's about
piss blood or whatever.
No. He's probably
You mean something I saw in The Usual Suspects is wrong?
Yeah, exactly. No. I want to say he's 195 pounds and I'm 150, and he and I were sparring. We were going. I already fought I think 3 or 4 people before him. He got me in the liver shot, and as soon as I took a step back to catch my breath, I realized I couldn't catch my breath, and just that liver shot, just man, some of those hits, yeah.
I'll stick to.
I'll show you. Let's turn
the camera around and just punch me.
Well, you'll stick to video games. Is that it?
Yeah. So I was trying to pick a game, but I was like, I'm not playing anything cool right now. I'm playing like Planet Side 2, just for lack of a better idea. But we're having fun. If you guys want to jump in, it's free. So
you gotta stop playing video games so you can do more stuff with music.
Right. No, I need to stop playing video games. Period. I think it's so weird. Like
Boss Rutten, dude, he is a beast.
It's so weird that I can be so disciplined in some areas and like sit at a computer and, dedicate myself to 10 hours for something that I'm interested in. And then if I'm not interested, it's just like 1 hour is a stretch. You know what I mean? It's so weird. One thing I've always kind of lacked and tried to develop is ambition. Like it's one thing to love something. It's one thing to be motivated. It's one thing to want something. But true ambition is just like, where does that come from?
Yeah.
Like,
but where do I find something? And I know that we talked about it with here you and I have talked privately about it, and also I know that Adam, I guess Fletch, he wants to do some music stuff. We gotta get together and do it. And the thing with me is just like me doing the music solo by myself. It's just awful.
If I feel like you're more self-defeated on this, than you have less faith in yourself in music than I have in music. I think that's it. And again, it goes back to the same thing that it's I am my worst critic. I am my worst enemy, and it's just awful. Every Thursday at 9. Yeah, to Skylar, every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, we start. We talk about juicy nothing burgers. Today's National Mental Health Day, so we're showing our souls a little bit. Maybe that's why I'm more soft-spoken than usual. Yeah. Normally I talk about dead parents. Jesus Christ. Anyway. It's you saying that you feel like I'm a better musician than what I am. I also feel like there's so many different things to do on a stage, and you have so much equipment. Is like we can just fake it, right? Like if you want to play keyboard, you could just have some triggers, and we'll just go and we'll just. No. I want to play my music and actually play it. But the thing is like I've played in bands where I've played in cover bands where we played. Is that the title for this video? When you yes, put it up? There you go. Yeah, Dave misses his mommy. Yes. Thank you, Rocksmith. That is officially that is officially the title of the episode. But anyways, it's just what the fuck was I saying? Yeah, I've played in cover bands where we've played, I'm totally down to play cover, Hit Me Baby One More Time, covers of 90s alt rock, and it's just like, okay, this gets to a point where it's just like I'm tired of that. You got tired. That's why I got tired, because I got tired. That's why I can't listen to Cranberries, Zombies. Yeah, I love the Cranberries anymore. I can't listen to that fucking song because I played it so many goddamn times. We never really talked about your cover band, and I would be worried about. For your cover band, the same thing I'm worried about for the band that I currently want to be in is that not everybody has the same interest in this thing. Great. So eventually, that's just it. Exactly. It's not gonna work. And it's just like I want to be able to make if we're all on the same page, make my own music. Oh, just you, like White Stripes, like no, with other people. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I thought you wanted a one-man show. Zombies. I played that song. We're doing it right now. We're doing Zombie right now. It's just like it's just awful. I learned that song on drums, and then I practiced it probably every day. Like, we had a whole set. But that one song was the bane of my existence. It was just like I want to sing that song right now. Like I don't know. 15 minutes left. I don't know what it was, but it was just awful. Thanks a lot, Skylar. Thanks for coming. I appreciate you. Oh no! It's yeah. Thanks for that.
if you just need to, do something that you love. That's really what it is. And it's just, you gotta do something that you love, commit the time, find some time, and that's just it. I've looked at my skateboard, honestly, and I've like, maybe I'll just pick up my skateboard. I loved skateboarding. Maybe I'll just pick it up and just see.
I'm terrible at skateboarding.
I know. Yes, we tried that a long time ago on that little path leading from the front door.
So I've always been a pretty genuine person, but I was the biggest skateboarding poser for like 5 years.
You still are.
I was like, I was wearing the skateboarding clothes.
Yeah, the zero shirt, the skate shoes.
Not zero. But pretty much everything else. And I had a board that was like perfectly clean on the bottom because I couldn't grind. I couldn't do any tricks. I couldn't do any board slides. But I was so in on like the skate punk culture that like I had to be there. Like I was there for the music, but I had to be there for the skateboarding too. And I was just I was terrible.
I've only exactly that was Dave. That was Dave.
No, I did have Jinko jeans, a couple pairs, not the real flashy ones like the ska checks down the side. That was too much for me, and not the big like the giant big Liberty Bells that were like big in like the raver crowds. That was too much for me too. But like definitely Element. World Industries.
And I subscribe to a lot of stuff on YouTube.
CCS magazine. Yep. Back in the day.
I watched a whole bunch of YouTube videos that also Braille Skateboarding. They're a great group. And I watched them and I was like, man, I really want to go to Orlando Skate Park and just one day. And one of my coworkers, he's I think like 35, 36, so he's not that much older than me. And I was like, shit. He's like, oh, I'm at OSP every weekend.
I think I might know who he is. Yeah, I see him around town in like weird like grocery stores and stuff. So like a 35-year-old dude who like is wearing an Element shirt and is in shape, and I'm like, he's probably actually skating.
And I was like, man, I should just join him one of these weekends. But then I'm again spreading myself. I just stabbed myself with this damn thumb.
Okay, well, you're gonna stab yourself.
But it's just like I'm spreading myself thin because then, like I said, I want to do the music. Yeah. Too many hobbies.
Well, that's the real thing about like ambition and motivation is like if I close my eyes, something in the world should speak to me, right? There should be a thing that I want to do more than any other thing that will bring me fulfillment. But what the hell is it? Which thing is it?
A lot of my hobbies kind of like go one in another. I'm not saying obviously mixed martial arts and guitar. I could bring my guitar on and
maybe that's your thing.
Metal the person to death.
I saw on one of those dance shows there was a guy who was like a competitive martial artist and he was incorporating the martial arts.
Right. Yeah. But
he was like really really good.
But that's one thing. But so it's like you got my mixed martial arts on one side, and then then I have music, my electronics, my programming, kind of all those things kind of go together because I could use
technical.
I could use my I have a whole bunch of the little pocket operators. Those play music that I could program into it. It's also an electronic. My guitar,
so the little Venn diagrams are over.
Exactly, because you have my mixed martial arts over here, but then you have all this. I just switched up my guitar. I just switched up the pickups. Again, that's electronics. I had to do some soldering. I had to do some cutting, crimping wires and all that stuff. So I'm like, shit. There's things that they overlap that work out, and I don't have to worry about that.
So you can find your satisfaction in many different ways.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I should be looking into. But before we get too far away, let's go back to skateboarding posering, because think about me in 1999 who can't skateboard very well, but is wearing a Thrasher shirt. And then think about people who wear Thrasher shirts now and how much worse of a poser they are now in a Thrasher shirt than I was in 1999 in a Thrasher shirt. And that makes me feel better. People are like, they don't even know what it is. They just know that it's popular.
That's a whole gatekeeping mentality. It's like, oh, you are a true fan.
I think there is a certain amount of gatekeeping mentality that's healthy. If you have no idea what the thing on your shirt is, then that's a problem.
There's a thing too where Target has these Guns N' Roses shirts, Metallica shirts, and all that stuff.
I'm actually cool with that.
So then all these younger people are wearing these shirts,
and you try to talk to them like, "Oh, Metallica Black Album, that was really influential," and they're like, "What?"
Exactly. Like, who's Metallica? You're wearing the shirt, but I don't do that. I'm just like, I'll let the people enjoy what it is.
I think there's more leeway on music because music is a cultural phenomenon, and Thrasher Skateboard magazine is not really.
But there's people that are wearing like shirts that are influenced by, so the typical Thrasher, the Thrasher that big letters with the fire, and then they have a shirt that says such I don't know, gamer, but that's the Thrasher then, and I was like, but do you know where that came from? I don't know.
I'm cool with parody stuff. I think my main problem, if I'm to be totally honest, is there's this like curve, there's this parabolic curve of what everyone thinks fashion is, and that the tippy point of that thing is things that are famous for no reason at all. And that's the thing where I'm like, but why? But why buy a $500, $1,000 t-shirt that has no inherent message?
Oh yeah. Redline had just catching up on the chat. One of the things Redline had was like northern countries like Scandinavia or Alaska, winter depression. That's the thing, because I know that especially Alaska, and obviously at a certain latitude, there's so much sun that you get, that there's only so much sun that you get that affects the psyche, that it affects you. I mean, same thing with Seattle. Just Washington State,
so
because of how cloudy it is. Exactly. They are, I think they are among some of the most unhappiest people.
Seattle is definitely
something like that.
Seasonal affective disorder.
Yeah. I know. I really need to put the safety pins down. I gotta stop.
This is a first for me, seeing you this like wired.
But Henry Rollins.
He's an interesting guy.
He now into politics,
he's in horror movies right now. He's on the Shudder network.
But he was Black Flag, the lead singer of Black Flag. Mm-hmm. He skateboarded to, I believe,
wait, was it Black Flag or Minor Threat?
Yes.
Minor Threat.
I don't know. I think it's Black Flag.
Okay, we'll gonna know in a second.
Sure, it'll be corrected. Black Flag. Boom.
Fuck.
High five me.
Damn it.
Anyway, so he was lead singer, punk band. Obviously, very
politically active, very philosophically active.
In the uprising of punk, also came skateboarding scene. I think that he skateboarded as well.
Now he's a cultural icon. If you had a T-shirt that was like Henry Rollins, I wouldn't be like, that's a stupid fashion statement. I'd be like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, and now he's doing like political advising for Fox or NBC, or CNN, one of the big channels.
He's on radio interviews and podcasts.
Yeah, and Fletch, I would love to do that. Wait till after one of my fights, then we will do it. I've burnt myself many a times with a soldering iron.
Oh man, I want to solder. I have a DS that I need to solder.
But yeah,
I've literally had the soldering iron for like 6 years, and I've never used it.
I'll show you how to solder. But yeah, Skylar, obviously you're new, but yeah, Dave and I, we've known each other for about 10, 11 years now, and
we're actually refreshing and rejuvenating our friendship with this podcast, which I think is very effective, because we can come in here kind of like untapped and tap for you guys, catch up on things. Right? Am I right? Put the goddamn pins down.
I was trying to figure.
Answer me.
I broke off the little bulb at the back of it, so I was like trying to get it back in place. There we go. Done.
You said you'd teach me how to solder, and Fletch said, then I'll show you how to actually solder.
I solder well, my friend.
Yeah, we'll be hobby buddies. Let's make a second day.
Yeah.
Come on. We don't tap before the show. No, that's after. Also, neither one of us wants to be a bottom, so we just 69 instead.
Jesus Christ, David. This has been actually a good conversation. You had to go and ruin it.
He started it. I'm just hitting the ball back. You know, one thing they teach you in improv is yes and. He gave me the ball, and I gave him a yes and. I served it back to him.
The clip about us dating.
I love that clip.
Yeah, it's a great one. But yeah, like I said, I guess because we're coming up to the end of it.
Put a little toothpick in the top of
put
our
a little
burger.
Put a little pin.
Put a pin in our burger.
Put a little pin in my hand.
Patties together.
Yeah. It's just, for me, a lot of the time is me beating myself up, where I don't want to, and I actually talked to Rocktism the other day.
A certain amount of it is healthy, right?
Well, I don't know.
You can't let yourself slide on everything.
A little bit of like self-deprecating, like joking around. So that's one thing. But I talked to Rocktism the other day. I honestly had Streamlabs open. Streamlabs is, obviously you don't stream, but Streamlabs is the application I use to start streaming. I had Streamlabs open. I was getting ready to stream, and I just stared at it, and I was like,
So you were just staring into the void, like life is meaningless. Everything I do means nothing.
Well, pretty much. Not you're joking around.
No, I know. I'm just oversimplifying it in the darkest way possible.
For me, it was just I'm just like staring at it. I'm just like, why am I going to waste my time? Nobody's going to want to watch it. Nobody wants to see this. I have no personality. I can't play guitar good.
Oh, you're going all the way. I thought you were just going about like, this won't be successful.
No,
that's an understandable fear.
So like me streaming, me doing all this stuff. I don't care about having like success. Like I said, it's not about the money. I just want to
personal gratification.
Exactly, personal gratification. I want to put the effort in and then see it and be like, this is great.
Sure.
So I stared at Streamlabs. I was about to hit the go live button. I just closed it and I said no. And then Kate was here. She was working on stuff, and I just laid in bed and just passed out. So
that's when you know you're really at the bottom, when you're like, I'm gonna sleep so I don't have to feel.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's always a good time. I can't wait to watch all these clips of us and then just like.
So Skylar apparently knew you when you were 5 or 6.
What? How's that possible?
Did you read that? Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, we're actually talking about catching up. Like I said, we've known each other for about 10 years. We used to live together, right. But Dave and I, we were in like the music scene, the local music scene. Like after us living together, we kind of like headed off different directions, but then also we would be like, oh, let's hang out, cool, let's get together.
Yeah, this is a friendship that we wanted to maintain, but we just like didn't necessarily prioritize doing so.
Yeah, but yeah, no, if you knew Dave back then, I mean, hang around,
catch up with me.
Hang around here, you could find Dave online, I'm sure, doing something.
I don't know much, but I know I love you.
God.
I don't know much about that song.
It's just like I need to stop being that way. I just need to stop with the whole. I guess that I don't want to have that feeling where it's pointless for me to do anything, because then I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna go to sleep every single fucking night.
It's good you mentioned that, because what I noticed when we were playing music was the people who are the most like high on themselves, they actually get somewhere, because it takes this like crazy amount of self-belief to get, to climb this freaking grind and this hustle and this ladder. Yeah. Like you wouldn't go 10 steps if you thought it wasn't going to go anywhere, So like it seems like I was taught, don't be overly proud, and don't be full of yourself, but like you kind of have to be not just like confident, but high on yourself. Like, hey, let me tell you how great I am.
Right.
Because you're going to be up on a stage like, this is my show. You know what I mean? So like, it's a balancing act of like, confidence and not being
right. Yeah, but exactly confidence. But then there's overconfidence, and you don't want to be that. I mean, I remember there were a couple bands that y'all played with that they were like.
I mentioned one last week, and then I corrected on the Facebook. I'll just say it was Modern Day Escape. Okay, we played so many shows with them, and they were so rude to us still. Yeah. Like, we would go have a great time. Yeah. Hey, great show, guys. We just did that together. Let's enjoy this moment. And they were just like, no, I'm too cool for you.
I'll tell you after this, one of the bands that like we're hanging around, that we're hanging around. Don't say anything, because I know you're going to.
No, I don't know.
You like to blurt it out.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But there's a band that hung around the scene whenever you guys were playing. We were hanging out with all these people, and they really put me off, and Kate was like, oh, let's go see these people. I'm like, I'm okay.
It's so weird, because a lot of these people are music fans, and everyone wants kind of their taste to be respected. Yeah. And the only way you can feel that you're respected is to feel like you're like superior to everyone. So it's a really toxic environment.
Yeah, but there's a little, so like for me with music, I eventually wanted to play shows or whatever, because I loved whenever I was playing in front of people. It was great. It was a great time playing in front of people that, even if they were there not to see me, they still enjoyed it. Hey, good job. That's great. But I was always level-headed. I was never like, oh, I'm the best fucking drummer ever. Yeah.
Yeah, me neither.
But it's like,
maybe we would have gone further if we were,
No.
If we were like crazy.
No, and it's like, I just want to go enjoy. Like I said, I want to be able to see me put in effort and then me see the result.
That's fine.
Not a financial.
So what's our 5-year plan? No.
I told you. I face
face
down, dead in a ditch.
Yeah, I'm not a very organized person where I can be like, so what's the next step for us?
Nah, I don't think that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think.
Oh man!
Unless you got something, Dave.
Good time. Welcome to the new people.
Yeah.
We shared some tears. We shared some.
I didn't shed any tears. I have no tears. This is blood. No.
Ooh.
No, but yeah.
Is that the song you're working on?
No.
Do you want me to sing on the song you're working on? Please.
Start going emo.
Please.
What? The song that I'm working on with
sure.
Well, there's no vocals.
But there could be.
There's no vocals.
Okay.
It's all instrumental.
Okay, that's fine.
But we could work on something else with vocals. Yeah. But anyways, so that's gonna do it for tonight.
Adieu, a fond farewell.
Yes, we will be back next week with another exciting episode.
Yeah.
Have a good night, everybody.
Burger. Good night.